Alright, so I definitely said in the last video that I wasn't going to do another axle video, but there's some important things that went down with this axle that I just felt like I should add, so I made this a short one. Now, I had to borrow a lot of parts from my 7.5 inch rear end that is useless. It's an open rear end, but luckily I have that rear end because there's a lot of stuff that I had to borrow from it. I mean, these were a mess. Like, I almost considered just buying new ones. I was like, this is ridiculous. But, you know, surprisingly, I don't know what motivated me to do it, but I was like, you know, I'm gonna wire weld them. And surprisingly, it really didn't take much. It was like maybe, 15 minutes on each one, which, I mean, that's another thing. This video, I don't go out of my way to time lapse and show you guys the whole process. But yeah, I mean, it really didn't take much. It was literally, like I said, 10-15 minutes a piece, and that's before they're both done there. Yeah, they cleaned up pretty nice. I'm glad I, did it and didn't spend. I mean, new ones are really expensive. These things aren't cheap. It's almost like if you're gonna buy new ones of these, you might as well just buy disc brakes. Now this was really rough, but that's after I wheeled it. It taking off the surface rust. I mean, it cleans up nice. That one looks like it's brand new, but yeah, that one's a little rough, but it's still 1,000 times better than what it was. But this one, that looks brand new. I'm really happy with how they came out. And I bought like actual, like the right type of paint, high temp paint. It's really brake caliper paint, but it'll be fine. So I had to take the entire assembly, brake assembly, out of my 7.5 on the floor, and then I had to use the 8.5 original backing plate, and it was basically the same, but there was just like small little differences, like the brake cylinder was different, and I was a little iffy on whether I wanted to do it or if I was going to be able to make it work, but it came together. Luckily, it wasn't that bad. This axle, it was very satisfying taking that rust off because it came off so easy. That was like a 3-minute job. I had that thing back down. So I had to rebuild the differential, as you know, because the S-clip spring, the S spring was cracked. So, and then what I had to do to the bolt and everything in order to get it off, all that craziness. So obviously I had to buy a new kit, which unfortunately was $150 because these things are old and the parts aren't readily available anymore. And yeah, believe it or not, that's how you get it in. And you have to pound it in with a hammer. And yeah, it looks worse than what it is. It actually went in pretty easy. I just was filming with one hand while hitting it with the other, so yeah, everything went back in very smooth. And by the way, like when you put a rear end back together, you're supposed to keep the shims on the same side and the bearings on the same side. Everything has to be on its same side, the same way it was. Why, I don't know, because I'm not an expert, but I just know that that's very, very important. So, and luckily I have a lot of pictures because I almost mixed them up. And had I not been filming this, I probably wouldn't have put it back together right. In fact, I know I wouldn't have. I've never done this before either, just being honest. So, people might say, oh, you use too much or you use too little, but I don't know. We'll see if it leaks. By the way, the view of how I'm doing all this, it's technically upside down. Like, if this was underneath a car and we were looking at it from behind, it would be flipped the opposite way, which might be kind of confusing to some people. I don't know if that really matters, but like, first differential I ever worked on, and I did the whole entire thing upside down, but I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to if that matters. I wouldn't think so, but you never know. I guess if a car was up on a lift and I was working on it, everything would just be the opposite way, obviously. So, yeah, I guess people would get used to working on them, the other way. But I don't plan on doing this for a living. This is kind of like I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this is the last, car I ever build again in my life. Probably not. I'll probably want to do it again after this is all said and done, because I'll get another idea and be like, But yeah, I'm definitely glad I'm going through this experience. By the way, I didn't show it on camera, but I really, I took a piece of pipe and a t-shirt, and I really I used like a ramrod style to go into the axle tubes and, clean them out really well before I put the axles back in and all that. And I don't show any of that. And like I said, I didn't really want to make another rear axle video, but I guess you guys do kind of need to see the process of it getting put back together. I didn't want to just be like, bam, all right, there's the axle, it's done, and then but no, I figured I wouldn't put you through too much. This is the only time lapse. I don't know why I chose to do it, but there you go. See, I flip right to it. I think it looks pretty good. I mean, $150 axle plus $150 rebuild kit, so that's a $300, build. I'm okay with it. Although I might paint the axle black down the road. We'll see. In the next episode, I'm gonna mock it up, underneath the car, so we can kind of see what the rear end's going to look like and what height I want it at. And then we're going to weld the perches on, so that's all coming soon. But yeah, thanks for watching.